All right, welcome everybody to the Grimdark Breakdown. James and I actually just played another game, and we did our first games with two of the new detachments. So I played the Corsair Coterie, and which one did you play? It's the Ork one?
Come on, we know which one I played. It's not a hint. Of course, played that mean green.
Yeah, but what's the name of it? Isn't it like
Freebooters. Pirates.
Freebooters? I knew it was something
Mm-hmm.
pirate. I knew it was something because they're
Mm-hmm.
all pirate themed.
Yes,
Um,
sir. I'm here
so
for
we're
it.
we're not going to dive into the specific list that we ran because we're both doing some experimentation of like what could go. Instead, what we wanted to do was give you our first impressions of the detachment. Hey, at first blush, do we think it's going to actually be relevant, or is it just fun? What units did we really not see any value in, and what units did we actually see some potential value in, and then talk about the actual attachments just a little bit. So I'll kick us off, and we thought this would be fun for you guys because you'll get, as an example with Eldar, you'll get my perspective as playing them, and then James's perspective as playing against them. So the detachment rule is actually kind of a spicy one. Basically, all pirate units get sticky, and when they sticky an objective, if the enemy comes onto that objective on a 2+, you get to roll D3 mortal wounds to that unit.
Yeah, that's a spicy move. I like that move. Like, I don't like playing against the move really, but losing a couple models in my army isn't all that big of a deal. But at the same time, it's a cool ability. Like, I think I really like that ability, even though I was playing against.
I do too. But once I was actually on the tabletop, like when I read it, I went, ooh, this is super spicy. And I really like this because this will stop the lone op character from running out there. But then when I started playing it, I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to be pretty niche because very few armies are just going to walk a single character out onto to unsticky. Typically when you walk a solo character out onto a model, you do it very early in the game for like established locus or, something like that, or like to hold a point. Very rarely on turn 3 are you like, let me send my one character, onto this point. That just doesn't happen a ton. So, and D3 mortal wounds, even if they did and you spike, most characters have 4 or more health. So it's not even going to stop that one character from unsticking your point. So as far as like kind of as I rate each piece of this detachment, I honestly think the detachment rule is a little niche. I think it's cool. I think it is cool. And I think your opponent, just like James said, is going to go, ooh, at first. And then once they get into the game and they're like, I'll walk 5 knobs out there and lose one guy.
Yeah. I don't think it's really for that though. Like you said, I think it's for those late game incidents where it's like all I can do is take myself as an example. You've got a truck that's just jacked,
Yeah,
but
that
it
one
can
truck
still
had like
move.
3 health. So that one, okay.
But it can move.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I get there with the truck and it's just like, oh, hold on.
So
I
what
just
he's
lost
talking
that
about
truck.
is he had a truck by my expansion objective that I had stickied and I completely left it. That truck had 3 health and he had backed it up to not give me an easy bring it down. And what in that circumstance, it could have been useful because it could have been a deterrent of like, man, if he rolls spicy, he just blows the truck up and I don't get it. But again, thing is situational. I looked over all of the enhancements and realistically, the webway pathstone, the one where you can basically pick up a model and put it into reserve, is the only one that's any good. The others aren't bad. Like the Lord of Deceit, the Vectora, I think could be really good on Uriel's unit, like getting in there and making other CP cost more. I think that's valuable. I really do. But that and the uppy downy is the only ones that maybe you want to take. As far as the stratagems, again, like on paper, they sounded really sexy. Pirates do is great. Pirates do is great. In the fight phase, getting to re-roll a wound roll of a 1 or all wound re-rolls on Uriel's unit, this makes him hit really hard. I actually used this in our game on my Howling Banshees when they charged into his killicans and I knew I was going to be wounding on 5s. I actually popped this to try to help, and it did help my efficiency getting into them. So I think it was fine. I also used Lethal Ruse. I didn't use it correctly. So I just want to make sure everybody understands. So it says at the end of the turn, if your unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. So basically it's saying, hey, you can fall back and still charge. And it says, if they are a pirate unit, select one enemy you were in engagement range with, and you get to throw a grenade. You roll 66. and then 4 pluses. Where I should have used this more appropriately was, and I think the play for this is that you have a unit that's engaged, you fall them back, use this strategy because it goes off in the movement phase. You'll deal 2 to 3 mortal wounds. Then at the start of the shooting phase, you throw a grenade, do 2 or 3 more mortal wounds, and you're doing like 5 maybe mortal wounds to them, and I think it could be spicy. The outcast ambush, I think shroud runners could maybe do something with it, but like rangers, my rangers died. They did their job. Honestly, none of the other ones. You got a blood surge move, which did not come up. Then you've got, I think the cloak and shadow, it's a stealth ability. I think that could be useful against orcs. It wasn't super. And then last but not least, you've got one where you've got after your unit has resolved its shooting, you can do a reactive move. I did use that one to kind of jail Gazgul, and that was very useful. Overall, my 2 cents is I think this detachment's going to be fun. I do not think it is going to be super meta impactful. It lacked the power that you would expect from an army that's typically good at killing. It did help with point control, but I overall wasn't impressed. I'll probably play 1 or 2 more games with it, but I just was not impressed. I think there are better Eldari detachments. I'll let you talk about your freebooters now.
Man, we're on the exact opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I think yours is going to be good in the meta.
Like, at this point, I think it is going to be a meta changer. So, like, we have it now where you basically get to pick a marker. That marker is your tempting target or your loot point, and anything on that point gets sustained hits 1, and that includes ranged or melee. I take that back. It's not anything. It's orc infantry, orc mounted, and orc walkers. So it's not going to do it from like a battle
everything
wagon,
but your trucks and your battle wagon.
Yeah, pretty
Really?
much. And that's great. Like being able to choose a target typically is probably going to be the center point, but being able to choose a thing and just go, everything on here is about to get messed up is great. And you do it at the start of the battle round, each round, so you're able to change it before you do your moves and everything. So it's not like the opponent can be like, oh, and just avoid that point. It's not really how it works. So that was great. I think it brings a lot of those units that are typically unused a lot into the play. Like right now, I am building some war bikers because of it. I don't even have any war bikers. This is a reason for me to have war bikers now.
Dude, I think so. So when we played, one of the first things that I actually thought was speed. This detachment wants you to be faster with this detachment rule.
Yep.
Because what it's incentivizing you is to put pressure on one side of the board so that you can predominantly fight in one area, therefore making that your looted objective.
100%.
And so I do think whether it's copters, bikes, rushing trucks, and deploying units. I think this detachment definitely favors you being a little bit aggressive with your speed.
Yeah, I think this is a detachment that you're going to see a lot more killicans. You're going to see a lot more orc war bikers. You're going to see a lot more squighog boys. All those guys are going to finally get some.
I didn't even think about the squighog boys.
Don't worry, I did. I didn't forget about it. He's on the shelf getting painted.
Yeah, I think they can be good.
Like it's going to be fun.
So let's talk about your enhancements. So
the enhancements. Now, the first one's trash. Highly situational.
It's trash.
I would,
You probably have to do D3 mortal wounds to yourself to become unbattle shocked. So that's hot trash.
Hold on. So let me explain this. You're saying this because you're not an orc player, and I understand that. But you got to understand how GW thinks, man. At this point, this is what they do. This is the norm. We either get hazardous or kill ourselves for almost everything. So
here's what I think is trash, brother. Because the problem is let's pretend he's running a 5-man unit. In my experience, I've fought orcs a lot. It's either just the war boss alive or the whole unit's alive. Because like once they get hit back, whether it's knobs or boys, they die. The war boss many a times has survived, but you got to keep in mind that once the war boss is alive, the unit is no longer at half strength. So the war boss would not only have to be alive, but below half life. And then you're doing mortal wounds to him. So it's just not a good, like the concept behind this would be the war boss and he's got 2 boys left alive out of a 10-man squad. Then okay, sure. But dude, I've played a lot of orcs. I've played you and a shit ton of tournaments. I think it's, to your point, so
I
incredibly
agree.
situational.
I agree with you. Look, and it's 10 points. Like, I'm probably not ever really picking this up, but at the same time, for what it is, it's par for the course for us.
Yeah. Their
And on
second
top
one
of it,
though is
we're
fire.
not done with the first one because you actually thought of it wrong. You're in the game. You're getting to a point, and you got Gretchens. You're killing Gretchens.
Okay.
You're not killing your own unit because it's anything within a foot.
Okay. Yeah,
So
sure, but like, I mean,
I hear what you're saying,
you're
and I agree with
assuming
you
that there's
saying,
going to
but
be
still,
something within 12 inches that you
100%.
okay doing the
But
damage to.
so it is situational. We have another like enhancement that's kind of like this in another detachment, and I've never used it. So,
I just think it's too situational, and I don't
mhm,
really like. I like enhancements that I go in most games. I'm going to use that
right,
unless it's like my list is perfect. I have 10 points. Okay, fine. But your
yep,
second enhancement, absolute fire.
perfect.
You're
You get spotter
here.
squig, yeah,
Ranged units get to, and this unit get to ignore cover. The biggest problem that flash kits have is only being -1, because here's the deal. The whole game has cover.
yep.
And so the problem is that they go, "Oh, I've got cover." Now
Now it's
you're
zero.
they don't. And what you're going to be doing is you're having an enhancement that's going to force them to potentially use a CP for Armor of Contempt. So you're burning their command point economy, which is good. I think, how many points is that one?
It's 20 points.
It's a little expensive,
It's a
but
little
like
expensive. If this was
I'd
like
like
a
it to be
15 pointer,
15. Yeah.
this was if this was a 15 pointer, this is a must take. You know, but
I
at
think it's
20
good. I
points,
think it's
it's
good. I
still
think it's
good, but it's kind of pricey. I'm interested to see how people play this. I wouldn't be surprised if this finds itself on looter squads more than flash kits, but I'd be
oh
surprised.
yeah, yeah, I can see that too. I
You
can see
know,
that too. I
well,
do think it's a good one though. I think
it's a
the
good
next
one.
one's good too.
By
Yeah.
workshop
Can't just call
is
it
going to
bionic.
be
It's bionic.
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 Yeah, because
Yeah.
it affects the big mechs or the pain boys. It's either one. And at the start of the battle round, you're able to roll a d3 and then you pick from the list. So it's RNG. Once again, par for the course for orcs.
Yeah,
But
but
you
all
get it.
three of them are good. +2 move,
Yeah,
+1
yeah,
strength, or +1 weapon
yeah,
skill.
yeah, yeah. It's great.
Your orcs are going to hit on 2 in melee. Their
Mm-hmm.
strength is going to make them probably wound on 2s or have movement. Like, the only one that would suck is units that are already engaged if you get the movement one. But like,
Right.
I actually still think this is
This
really
is
good.
to
How many points?
it's 15 points. So the
Oh
only
yeah,
thing that
yeah,
it is
that's good.
this is from orc players. You'll understand. This is follow me lads from Warhorde is what this is. They're not trying to take as much from Warhorde as they want, and that's what this is. But it's a little RNG, so you don't really know what you're gonna get. Because the Pain Boy, we all know the Pain Boy is overcosted as fuck. Like he is
Yeah, I
Snick
see
Rock
this
costs
more
less
as a big.
points.
This is the. I see
This
you
is
putting
Big
this
Mac.
on a Big Mac.
This is Big Mac, and then you're praying for that 2 inches of move. And then you got the
Well,
2 inches of move with the gas. Plus, you've got the stratagem that we'll talk about later that gets you the guaranteed advance. Like this is that the strength because of the Waaagh and the way how there's another stratagem for that. It's good, but it's kind of like
yeah, the strength is the part that's situational, because the only
right
reason it's going to ever matter is like your choppers are like strength 6, I think, or
most of the
5.
time. Yeah,
They're either 5 or 6.
yep,
You're going to go to the wall. They're either going to then be at 6 or 7. The
yep,
only reason that this would matter is then potentially pushing them to 8, so you could wound Space Marines on 2s.
yep.
So like it is situational. The next one though, I actually think
The
like
weapon skill increase.
is the biggest one. Being able to hit
Mm-hmm.
on 2s
Mm-hmm.
is in melee,
Basically, the way I looked at it was
or
a
that's
war
a big
boss
deal.
is going to have 9 strength out of the Waaagh. So, but if you could get like all of your knobs to be like war boss level with their like power claws or something, it's
It's very spicy. But
worth it.
the weapon skill though, I actually think is a bigger deal, because it increases your efficiency getting to hit on one higher,
Mm-hmm.
when they're theoretically not being, maybe there isn't a war boss there, right? So I think that
Yeah,
part is actually
yeah,
pretty cool. But
yeah.
I actually think the next one, the magic map, is
Raz gets magic map. Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Let me explain from someone who's fought a lot of orcs with shooting armies. Orcs, one of the easiest ways to beat an orc army, in my opinion, is if you get in position to shoot their transports on turn 1. Because orcs outside of the wall don't have great movement. So if you're on an open board and you deploy in a certain way and you go, haha, and you just light up their trucks and you blow up 2 of their 3 trucks on turn 1,
Yeah, that's
it
a
it
bad day.
that game is basically over because a good player is just gonna go, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna go jail you now because you have
Yep.
such low movement. I'm not gonna let you play the game," and the game is over.
Yeah. That's not a fun day. That
I
that's
think
that's not
that
a fun game.
this ability, especially for people that are still getting better at the army, is going to be like, I don't want to call it a crutch, but I think this is going to be a really, really good tool because you're like, hey, I put this unit on the left side of the board, and then he deployed his tank in a spot where if he goes first, he just drives a little to the side and he 100% has a shot. So the fact that you get to see all of your enemies' deployments and then, and I know orc players, I'm stereotyping, but like do some measuring, do some thinking, get your tape measures and go, okay, he could go here, which means he could shoot here. And the ability for you to be able to potentially reposition your important units that you just can't get shot up on turn 1, your battle wagons, your trucks, Gaz's big brick, because his Vindicator over here has 24 inches, and if he moves 10 this way, he's got a shot line on my truck. Statistically, he's going to blow my truck up. But if I move my truck over here, he's fine. Or, hey, he completely loaded up this side of the board. I'm just going to move my guy over here. I really think it's a good ability.
I think it's overcosted. It's 25 points.
Doesn't matter.
This
The
to
amount
me.
of time, think about this. Think about the amount of times you and I have played a game
Mhm.
and the game has been over on turn 1 because I blew up 2 of your trucks.
Okay. Now I'm gonna say this, and you probably don't even remember it. I've used this ability on you probably like 3 times, and it's never helped.
Maybe that's you problem.
It's possible. It's
But
possible. But
here,
the problem is this is for like the early like adopt like people learning the game. And
I
they're
think
like,
this is going to
ooh,
help you
I
hide
made
your
I
units
made a
better.
mistake. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have put that there. But at the same time, the mentality that other orc players are gonna probably think of is like, okay, this is I can kind of go heavy on one side, right? And he'll adapt to try and like stop me. Most players won't do that. Most players are going to play their game and they don't care where you're putting your stuff. And that's the thing that as an orc player you got to remember. They do not care.
Don't care.
Don't worry about that. It's not a thing where you can be like, ha, you fell for my trap card. It's not going to be that. All you can do is use it as ooh, I made a mistake.
Bingo.
Other
So here's,
other than that,
you got to
I wish it was 15 points.
break the player group. So when you're reading this or thinking about this, you want to always think about like Warhammer players into 3 groups. Okay. So you have the very competitive, what we call top table players. Okay. These are players that are going to adapt to what you do and they are going to think about all those things. Okay.
Yep.
You have the mid table. Some will think about that stuff. Some are going to play their game plan no matter what you do.
Yep.
And then there is the other third, which is the back tables. What they're going to do is literally decided the moment they walk up to the table. Half the time they don't have a plan or
Yep.
they make it up as they go. And so you're not gonna mess with them. This is in my opinion, why this is good, especially if you're at that back third or you're in the middle, is oh shit. I didn't think about his boom boom is going to move out here and just tee off on me if he goes first.
Yeah, I didn't realize that this thing had 24 inches of movement. If you pop one ability, it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
fix. Yeah,
Angron is sitting 20 inches away from me. What's his movement? 14? Great. That's a 5-inch charge.
right,
He's going to kill
right,
this battle wagon.
right. Because I used this ability a couple times in Tactical Brigade. It was a great move in Tactical Brigade.
I do think 25 is a little pricey.
25 for me. That's what it is. It's the points for me. Like it's 25 points. Man, it's
But I
the
think
highest pointed thing of all the enhancements. The enhancements we just went over. This is the highest one. Really?
I think it's just one of those things though. If you're getting messed up on turn 1 a lot, I would work this into your list and use it to help you until
Yeah,
you feel like it's no different than
100%.
like with sisters. I used to run the character that gives me an extra command point every turn for years until I understood about how to manage CP economy, didn't
Hmm.
need her anymore, could take her out of the list so I could get something else.
Right.
Same concept.
Exact same concept.
All right. Instead of going
Stratagems?
through every stratagem, let's just look at them and see which ones are hits and misses.
I think bash and grab is, it's you're oathing a point is essentially what it is.
Yeah,
You
except
get
it's
to,
the wound roll, baby.
yeah.
I actually think it's great. Here's why I think it's great. If you're like in our game, most of the time I had like 5 rangers that,
Hmm.
like you giggle at them and they're going to die.
Right.
So it's not worth it.
But against like Space Marines and stuff,
When
like
you're
think
fighting
about it.
like,
As an
think
orc
about like,
player,
yeah.
I'm going to hit you. That's not like, because this only affects melee. So
Mhm.
I'm going to hit you. It's what I'm gonna miss. This fixes that.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, man. I think this is great because, if they've got 5 Terminators or they've got 5 Space Marines or I've got 10 Sacrosaints on the point and it's +1 to
100%.
wound,
Yep.
and you're like, okay, you charge in there, re-rolling those wounds, man.
Yeah.
I actually think I think this is one
Bash
you
and
will
grab is good.
use a
Bash and grab is
lot.
good.
The other thing just to keep in mind is where this one gets super spicy is if it is your looted objective, you just now gain sustained hits and reroll wounds for a
Yep.
unit. Their kill potential just skyrockets.
100%.
They're killing anything.
Let's go to deck fraggers next. This is the one that we had our discussion about.
Yeah.
I think this one is a great ability. I think it does generally like you have to figure out what's behind that unit though.
So
Like
let me read it for everybody so they understand. In your shooting phase, 1 orc unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot. Until the end
one
of the
orc
phase,
infantry unit.
infantry unit, apologies. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit targets an infantry unit with a ranged weapon, it gains the blast ability. So here's the great thing about this is going to be situational. And if you're newer, you're going to be like, as you get to be a more experienced player, you're like, this is a really good ability. When your flash gets 5 flash gets with a leader are shooting and they're shooting into a 10-man, that's 12 additional shots for an army that predominantly hits on 5s. That's good.
Especially if it's
That's 4 more
that
hits,
unit
baby.
that's the closest to the flash kit. So then you get the gun crazy show offs. So you got
Exactly.
an extra attack on top of that too. So that's 2 extra attacks essentially. Just because,
Yeah.
like, that's
I,
great.
I I think this is really good. I think like the situation we had last night where we were talking about it was I had screened Gazgul's 20-man with some swooping hawks, and there's 5 swooping hawks. And he was like, should I use this stratagem here? I didn't have anything behind him, and I was like, no, because you'll just kill him in melee, so it's just a waste of that. I said, but if I had a unit behind them that you wanted to be able to charge, I said, this is the perfect time to use it because
100%.
orc pistols are garbage. But all of a sudden, when
20
all
orc
those,
pistols plus 16 attacks from Gaz. Those
yeah,
20 pistols matter all of a sudden because they're getting an
and
extra
they're all
attack.
getting blast. So every single one of those guns now instead of 20 shots, it's 40 shots, and then 50 because because of Gaz's stuff, you're getting 50 shots into these guys. You have a very good chance of wiping a 5-man unit with that many, shots that you're going to
Mm-hmm.
fire it. I do think it's a
Mm-hmm.
good ability.
Yeah. All right. Let's do rolling a loot heap.
Crap. It's crap. It looks good on paper. James thought it was good. So here's
I
what
did
this
too.
is. Your flash
It
gets
sounds so good.
get anti-vehicle 4+. So here's the thing. If you're running a 10-man flash gets, I actually think it's good. If you're running a 10-man flash gets, they can shoot blow up a vehicle. We ran the math last night. You're going to average somewhere between 6 and 9 damage to a toughness 10 vehicle. So, that was a
Yeah.
toughness 9 vehicle. It
That
wouldn't
was
really
toughness
matter.
9 vehicle.
It'd still be
Yeah.
5s.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like 6 to 9 damage ain't enough because they're
It
either going to
it
drive
wasn't my
away,
closest target, so I wasn't getting gun crazy show offs.
and
On
it's
top of it,
rarely going to be. You're also going
it's
to have
yeah.
moved a lot.
Yep. So you're not gonna have heavy. So I think for like that low toughness transport or something, it's hot it's possible. But I don't know. You gotta have a lot of a really pretty good CP buildup in order to waste
Question:
it
what's the
probably.
firing deck on a truck?
Like 12.
Okay, I mean the only way I see this being even worth it is if you use a truck
Nope.
like a shooting tank and you were to drive it towards whatever enemy vehicle you're
Still wouldn't
shooting.
matter. You couldn't use this on the firing deck because it's a firing deck. It's the truck. It's
No,
not a
no, no.
flash
I
deck.
understand that. What I'm saying is you drive it, you disembark those units because you don't need to charge with them.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you've disembarked them and
Mm-hmm.
then you should, because you're still, but because then you got 10 units,
Yeah.
it would be the closest target. So you're going to have 40 shots. You're going to get 16 hits and then another 8. So you're going to get 24 hits. And then from
Maybe
there,
you're on a point and you
anti-vehicle.
Yeah, maybe you're on the point and it's your looted point, so you get the
I
sustains,
think that's
maybe.
going to get even more. We're getting situational on
Yeah,
situational, but I think
yeah.
I think
It is a
24
situational
hits,
ability though.
24 hits is real, and then you get 12 wounds. The problem is that it's only at -1, so most stuff is going to save on a 4.
Mhm.
So they're gonna fail 6. So you could do 12 damage, and like if I was playing like my sisters, like they could drive up, shoot, and kill a castigator, 100%. But here's the only flip of that. What's a 10-man flash get point wise?
That's expensive. 10-man flash kits I think are like, 30 points or so, so a 10-man's gonna be 260.
No way they're that much.
I'll double check for you. I'm pretty sure they're
If
kinda
they're
up
that
there.
much, then it's not worth it. It's
Let's see here.
I don't think this. I think this stratagem sounds great on paper. The problem is that flash
Yeah,
gets
10 man's 160 points.
160. So okay, that's better. A
Yeah.
castigator or a normal battle tank is gonna be around that price. So like you're
Mhm.
trading is what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't I, I don't think it's terrible, but I think it's I wouldn't build an army around it. I think it's super situational.
Yeah, I can see that.
The best that then we'll hit the two ones that are not as like that are okay. Broaden Rush.
Warden Rush,
So
because 'cause they're
Borden
pirates.
Rush.
You got
Yeah.
more shit,
So
you know?
movement phase.
You don't
You
like
can
this
just
one?
here's here's why I don't like it, because you can't advance and charge unless you're on the wall.
Okay,
So you're
that's what
only
it's
like
for.
I totally get it. But like it's a stratagem that you're only using in the Waaagh. I think it's okay. I don't think it's correct. I think
So,
like when you want to use it, it's good. But I think you're going to use this stratagem once per game, every game in the Waaagh, or when you use your other stratagem that lets you call Waaagh on a unit. I think you so maybe use it twice. I think it's good, but I don't think it's like the greatest thing ever, because if it said that you get to do that and then you can charge, I'd be like,
yeah,
holy shit, that's gonna
yeah.
suck.
So, I'm from a different camp from it. I look at it as, like, this is almost a get out of jail card, in the sense that, like you said, maybe you did everything right. You did everything right in your deployment. They still lost your vehicle, and they are ass out in the
They're
wind.
stranded. Yeah.
That's what
You
this is.
you need to be able to
You
move
need to
them
make
a
sure you can
lot.
get behind that piece of terrain
Okay.
so you
All
don't
right. You
lose that
convinced
unit.
me. It's a good strategy.
So that I like this stratagem. This is actually one of my favorite stratagems in this list, because I know I'm going to use this every game,
All right.
even
Let's
if it's
shit
just during the wall.
crump and run.
Crump and run.
One orc unit from your army that was within engagement range of an enemy unit at the start of the phase and is not within an engagement range can now make a normal move of +6. So
This
I
is what I
actually
tried
think
to use on you.
this, in my opinion, is the best stratagem in this. You can't convince me movement doesn't win games. Orcs charge into something, they kill it. Instead of having to do a consolidate for 3 inches to go towards something, just being able to say, I'm going to pop this and I'm going to move 6 inches this direction and get onto this point, or I'm going to move 6 inches this direction and go back behind a wall so I don't get shot. There's so many different uses for it. I think
Yeah.
this one is outstanding.
And this is during your opponent's move phase. Um, if you're the kind of orc player that you experience the Astra Militarum effect, is what we'll call it, where you've gotten
Yeah,
in,
they fall back.
you've gotten stuck in, and all of a sudden it's just like,
Yeah.
and you get shot.
Everything falls
This
back, and then
fixes
they're
it.
like, cool,
This
you're
fixes
falling
it,
back. I'm
because
going into cover, or I'm going behind this wall. Like,
how
I
many
think it's
times
great.
have you been in that situation, where it's just like, all right, cool, I'm in here, I'm stuck in, this unit here is donezo. And all of a sudden they're like, yeah, nah. And they shoot you with 4 meltas.
Yep, I think it's great. And then the one that I don't actually consider with the rest, because it's, in my opinion, it's actually the reason you take this detachment, is your command phase, one orc unit from your army, excluding Gretchen, which I thought was kind of funny.
No, that's spicy. I'll
Yeah,
explain why
I
in a
know.
second.
They're wanting to keep the Gretchen jail from happening from
Yep.
earlier in the edition. Yeah,
Yep.
I know. I experienced that bullshit. But you get to wall 'em. And here's why this is
Yeah.
awesome. Orcs typically are a one-turn army. They hide, they sprinkle out to score, and then when they call the wall, they're fucking coming. Okay. Where this is really, really good is, okay, they've called the Waaagh. Okay, great. That unit that is still mostly intact, that is like in the thick of it, when it gets back to their turn, he could go, I'm gonna call a Waaagh again. And you're like, oh, great. Like they got an invone again, and they're doing this again, and they're going to hit again, and they're going to advance and charge and get even deeper. Like, this is the reason you take this detachment.
100%. Like grab and bash is great. I think it's not situational on the slightest.
Nope.
This actually makes it where somebody being crazy, especially if they're rolling with a whole bunch of Squighogs boys and warbikers, turn one Waaagh might happen. It might happen.
I could
You
also
know,
see
so
you, instead of doing the Gretchen play, doing a commando play where
mhm,
you're like, hey, I'm going to make it up, area denial and an established locus. And you
yep.
run them out on 5 dudes onto the middle. You're holding the middle point and you see you get those, you're going to do that. So you go, I'm going to call the wall on my commandos to give them that 5 up invone,
So they're
put
just
them
not
out
just
there
wiped out. Yeah.
so that they're much harder to remove. I think the
Yep.
synopsis, though, from someone playing it, the detachment rule, it's okay. Like, it's not bad. I think when it becomes relevant, it's incredibly relevant. But I think it's a little situational because, if the bulk of the fighting isn't on an objective, it can feel. I think the enhancements are okay. I think there's some good ones. I think the redeploy is good for newer players. I think getting to the random of the 3 things isn't bad, and then what was the third one? The ignore cover. I think the ignore cover one is pretty good too. But the whole reason you're taking this attachment is because it has, in my opinion, 5 banger stratagems. The
Yep.
only one that's okay is the flash gets getting. If you told an orc player the worst stratagem in your detachment is I will let your flash kits have anti-vehicle 4+, they would probably be like, huh? Like, the stratagems for this detachment are 5 out of 5 bangers. That the only thing is on this is that, like, and I'm saying this to orc players because I swear you all forget it. You got to remember your Gretchen and try to get those CP because you're going to need them, man.
Yep.
Because this is
100%.
this is a CP hungry detachment and it is good.
100%. It would not be out of the realm of reality to run maybe 3 Gretchen squads in this detachment because you might want them on some other points just to
Burning
chop it away.
cards, especially like on turn
Like
1, isn't the like, if I rolled my Gretchen and I didn't get it, I'm gonna ditch one of my secondaries on turn 1
to
to
get that extra
build up a
CP.
little bit of a
100%.
CP economy. It's
100%.
probably not the worst
Losing
thought
losing
process.
those 2 points for, for a secondary to get some CP might be is 100% worth it. I definitely like this attachment. I see this as the second coming of Mordaka. It takes a lot of elements from Tactical Brigade. It takes a lot of elements from Warhorde. It takes a lot of elements from Mordaka previously.
Yeah, but it's not busted. Like, more the problem with Mordaka was that they were just standing 36 inches away and just killing you.
Yeah, but I think
This
this is a
takes
redeemer,
all.
is what it is.
Yes, this takes
Is
everything. Melee shooting.
I love this because everybody online who had never played against it was like flash gets, flash gets, flash gets, flash gets for Mordaka. And I'm telling you, the problem was the looters, which is like you just said,
Yep.
36 inches. And I think people are going to see that, but they're not going to have the same thump because they're not getting 2. They're going to just get the 1. Flash gets are still going to get 2. And I guarantee you people are going to be like, it's not the flash gets. Okay. Okay. And that's what I mean. I think when we always talk about like GW making it where certain detachments have certain things a little bit more expensive, Mordaka is a real example of that. Like flash kits weren't the problem, it was Ludas. And if Ludas would have been more costly, I think it wouldn't have been somebody showing up on a board with 30 guys that can shoot 36 inches with heavy.
But yeah, but I think this is going to be a really good detachment. I think we're going to get some more reps in. So our actual plan, just for everybody, especially, I know we spent a lot more time on the Ork one than we did on the Eldari one. I don't think the Eldari one is competitive at all. I think it's fun and I think it's cool.
Like I loved it. I thought it was fun to play against.
I think it's
But
really fun, but
I'm an orc player. What do you want? I like spicy stuff like that. I like other factions that have randomness to their stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, you see what it's like. Like when you play Dread Mob and you're like, push that button. Yeah, I'm gonna push that button. I'm gonna push
we
that
spent a
button
lot more time on the Orc side because I do believe the Orc one is going to be very competitive. You're going to see it at tournaments coming up very soon. So what Mark and I are going to do is we're going to be, we kind of had lists that we weren't really sure about. We spent some time talking about it. We're actually going to play another game coming up and we're going to record the entire game. And then we're going to do a battle report afterwards. We're going to actually talk about the units. I'm going to play the other Eldari detachment and try it out.
Oh,
But
they got 2.
they got 2. I think the other one is the competitive one. I
Oh,
do think it is going to be the main way Eldari are played. So we're gonna jump into those and we're gonna play that. And so we'll do a full battle report for you guys. But I hope this has been helpful. If you want, drop a like for the Emperor, subscribe for more content like this, and we'll have a full battle report probably coming out here in the next couple days. So see you guys in the next one.